There is one crucial thing that I've come to realize recently, and that is stop hoping for a completion of anything in life. Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. Today is episode 15, and if you guys are enjoying the podcast, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. Today is an episode that I'm most likely going to rant. I have nothing written down. It's just something I've been thinking about recently. And it's the fact that there is no completion to anything. There's always more to be done. You could when you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And why I'm saying this is because, for example, the gym. You get a great physique. You've been training for years, maybe even a decade, maybe even 2 decades. But what happens when you stop training? After a week, no difference. After 2 weeks, oh, I feel smaller. After a month, oh, I'm losing muscle. After 6 months, I'd even look like I work out anymore. What happened there? Want to know what happened? Is you stopped. You believed that once you got that great physique, it would always be there, but it wasn't. This goes for anything in life. We believe that once we hit a certain accolade or we achieve something new, that it will always be there, but that's not the case. What happens when you make a new friend? You make a new friend, he's your new boy, you guys do everything together. But the second you stop focusing on him and caring about other things and you don't give him the time of day, he won't be there for you. That friendship is going to be lost sooner or later. So what I'm trying to say is we have the idea that once we achieve something great, it will always be there. But that's totally not the case. What happens in professional sports? You think you make it to the league, oh, I've made it. But that's only the beginning, you know? And then once you make it to the league, you want to win the championship of whatever your league entails. And then you constantly strive for winning the championship, but then eventually you win it. You may think, oh, I've done it all. But guess what? Next season, someone's coming to take that championship from you. That's just everything in life. There is no completion to anything. For example, for myself, you know, I have some videos that went viral on Instagram. But if I stop posting, people are going to unfollow, the views are going to go down. It would have all been for nothing. Maybe when I was younger, at 15, 16 years old, thinking about social media, thinking about the people that post on YouTube. Oh, I would love to do that. I'd love to get 1 million views on a video. Then I get it and I realize that it doesn't even mean anything. It has no value because at the end of the day, the sad reality is people don't care what you did in your past. People only care about who you are now. How many times do we hear people say, oh, I benched 315 in the past, or I did this in the past, and you just look at them and you're not even very affected by it. It doesn't really blow your mind. It's when you see the people that are constantly doing it every single day, and that's when your mind is blown. There is no completion to anything. For myself, taking it to a smaller level, I was never really a reader before. And I said to myself when I got my first couple books that I wanted to read, oh, I'd love to just finish these 3 books. But then I finished them and I wanted more. I wanted to read more. When I started working out, I was so small. I was 80 pounds before anything. That's when I started my journey of fitness. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, imagine I was 140 pounds. I got there, but by the time I got there and I hit that number, it meant nothing to me. I wanted something else. I wanted more. Now I weigh 190 pounds, and my 80-pound self would never imagine that I had gotten this big. But the fact of the matter is, I'm still not satisfied. We can't go through life thinking that we'll be satisfied because I think us as humans, that just doesn't exist. I don't think we'll ever be satisfied. We're constantly reaching. for the next mountain to climb. And we see this with hyper ambitious people. They always seem like they're never satisfied, no matter how much money they make, no matter what they buy, no matter what success comes their way, they constantly want more. There's plenty of YouTubers that hit 1 million subscribers and that means nothing to them. Then they want something else. We need to have this in mind when we do achieve success. Is that it's not a completion to anything. We're not going to feel amazing about it. We're going to feel great about it for a bit, but then we're going to strive for the next thing. Either you could accept this, or you could go into this type of life with a more mindful way. You know, be proud of how far you've made it and where you got, and then from there, you know, search for the next thing. But give yourself time to be proud of the progress you've made. Because then that goes back to having zero presence, zero mindfulness. Because you'll achieve something new. And then you want the next thing, but you didn't even give yourself time to appreciate what you just did. You need to be proud of how much progress you're making. My younger self would have never thought that I'd be waking up at 4 a.m. every single day. But now I get mad at myself when I wake up 4:30, 5 o'clock. But this is the thing. This is something we need to accept, is that we're going to feel this way. We're going to feel this way if we're people that want more out of life. Is we'll never be satisfied. And I believe that having this type of mindset is what it takes to be great and make something of yourself, right? Because I rather be blessed with the fact that I have this type of mindset, that I always want more, that I'm never satisfied, I'm never happy, I'm always hard on myself, than have the opposite. Because I did have the opposite when I was a lazy person and an unambitious person. I would do a bit and, say, "Oh, I did a lot," but now I feel like I'm never doing enough. But I would take this type of mindset over the previous one any day. Because I know that this will lead to my success. And this whole podcast is just a documentation on my success. It is on myself to make something of myself. Because I know the opposite and it doesn't feel good. Not being proud of who I was. Not having ambitious goals. Having no direction. Having no purpose. You need to realize to yourself that who you are now isn't actually who you are. You may not like the person you see in the mirror. You may not be proud of the actions that you've done. You may not be proud of the way you think, but that's not who you are. You decide who you are. You decide who you're going to be. You are in control of your own destiny. No matter how many mistakes you've made in the past, you could always be better. You could always become something more. And that's the thing. Once you become something more, don't think it's over. I still struggle every single day to wake up at 4 a.m. I still struggle every single day to be consistent with my diet and make sure I put on muscle. I still struggle every single day to be disciplined in my business endeavors and the podcast and content. There will never be a day where I feel amazing about doing these things every single day. Don't think once you reach that 60-day meditation streak that you're now going to meditate the rest of your life and there's never going to be a day you don't feel like meditating. That is foolish. Don't think there'll ever be a day where you no longer care about the worldly endeavors and that you'll always be focused on the right things. This is not going to happen. You need to be prepared for when these feelings come to you, where the feelings come to be lazy, because even though you've been in on the grind for 365 days and you feel like you've transformed into a whole nother person, that old self of yours will always be there chatting in your ear, telling you to resort back to your old ways. There is no completion to anything in life. We have to constantly strive to be better every single day in order to gain excellence and be someone that we could be proud of. There is nothing in this life that is gained and maintained without effort. You know, as much as the effort it takes to create something, the effort it takes to maintain it is sometimes even harder, right? You build a great physique, but then all of a sudden you're getting invited to all these get-togethers, these parties, these dinners, all these things. It's hard to say no, especially when it's people around you that care about you and they want you there. But the fact of the matter is, if you indulge in all these experiences constantly, you won't have that good physique anymore. You know, if you start skipping the gym too much, that physique that you built isn't going to be there anymore when you look in the mirror. If you constantly keep indulging in self-destructive behaviors, you know, you're going to look in that mirror and not be proud of the person anymore that you see. You're being lazy. You're waking up late. You're not doing anything to achieve your goals. You're not striving for anything. There's no direction, no purpose. You know, these things are going to come to you, especially even when you found your purpose, but you still feel lazy sometimes to do them. This is just a part of the experience. You know, there's some times where, for example, I wanted to write 6 scripts for 6 podcasts last week. And I love doing the podcast. This is one of my favorite things to do. I'm passionate about it. But still, I had that voice in the back of my mind telling me to be lazy, telling me not to do it. They will never go away. But this is just who we are. We need to accept this and be able to deal with those fleeting emotions. It is not something that will ever disappear. It will always be there. There will always be your old tendencies trying to pull you down and make you into the person you once were. But you just can't listen. You have to keep fighting through those things. You're someone right now that maybe is lazy, has no direction, has no purpose, doesn't feel good about themselves. And you need to fix this, so you start implementing the gym, you start implementing a new business endeavor, a new purpose whilst you're doing your normal life. You start to feel great about yourself. But there's going to be times where you feel too tired to do all these things in a day. And that voice, that weak voice of yours in your mind, is going to tell you to stop, to take a break, to, you know, don't do this anymore. It's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable feeling. But this weak voice of yours is only going to keep you to the same person that you once were. And even 10 years from now, once you feel like you've got it all figured out and you've discovered self-improvement and you know all the right things to do and you know what you have to do, there's still going to be that voice there telling you not to do it. It's our higher self and our lower self that is in constant battle within your mind. Oh, eat these bag of chips. It's going to make you feel good. Oh, don't eat those bag of chips. It's not, has no reason and it has no direction with your purpose. If you eat these chips, it's not going to bring you any closer to your goals. This is a conversation that will happen in your mind constantly. And it could be the same thing for anything. Oh, I want to scroll on my phone because it's easy and I'm just sitting on the couch. Oh, what about that book that you said you wanted to finish by the end of the week? It's over there. Why don't you go pick it up and read it? What voice are you going to listen to when the time comes? You can't give in. You need to focus on your higher self. You need to focus on the person you want to become. Envision that person and do the actions that that person would do on a daily basis. The previous podcast, we talked about habits, and all these good habits will lead you to your higher self. But don't think it's going to be completed. There is no mission to complete, because just when you think that mission was completed, you got the 60-day meditation streak, you've gone to the gym consistently, that voice is still going to be in the back of your mind telling you to stop doing this. These things we strive for in our life isn't like the natural things we do. For example, sleeping. You sleep every single day because you have to. You eat every single day because you have to. Drink water every single day because you have to. But when you're striving for goals that you can't even see in front of you yet, you don't have to do those things. So you think you're always going to, want to do them? Want to start the podcast. Oh, I need to do an episode every single week, but I don't have to. There's nothing telling me I have to. It's not like sleep where if I'm extremely tired, I have to sleep and I end up sleeping. It's not like that with this. This I have to force myself to do when I don't feel like doing it. The other thing, it just happens because it's natural. There is no completion to anything. Just when you think you completed it, there's more. There's something beyond that wall. There's something beyond what you're currently doing and what you currently achieved. Just when you think it's over, there's a next step. For the longest time, I was stuck at 200 followers on Instagram, and I wanted to inspire people. I'm not inspiring anyone yet, but the fact of the matter is, I wanted something. I wanted to grow that account. The second I start growing it and I'm getting proud of myself, it's not enough anymore. And who's to say, oh, at 30,000 followers, 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, I will feel completed. It's not the case. When I look in the mirror and I see how much change I've made within myself, my personality, my habits, who I am as a person completely. When I see this person in the mirror, I'm still not satisfied. I want more, you know? So you got to go into the new endeavors in your life with the mindset that there will be no completion, and you're happy about that. You're content that there will be no completion, and you're happy to go on this journey and seek something that might not even exist. To seek something that maybe isn't there, but you want it to be there and you'll strive for it to be there, right? Same thing with bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, you're chasing a physique, a perfect physique that doesn't even exist. It's not real. You know, even someone like Sebum still trying to better his physique. He's the best in the world for 5 years, but he still wants a better physique. What is he striving for? What is there that he's striving for? It doesn't exist. Same thing with anything in life. You want to complete your person. You want to get all the stats up about your character, who you are, but it doesn't exist. There is no completion to these stats. You could always be a more emotionally available person. You could always be a more kind person. There's so many things you could always be more of. And we should be happy that there is no completion because that gives us a reason to keep pushing forward. Because imagine if there was a completion. Oh, once you reach this goal, it's over. That's all you needed to do. You would feel hopeless. You'd feel meaningless after that. There's always more to be done. There's always more you can be. While having this mindset, like I said before, you also need to be proud in who you are right now and how much change you've made. And don't allow anyone to downplay what you've done so far. Because if you want to be great, you will be great. And you are already great because you're striving for something that many people aren't. Through self-improvement, through realizing that maybe you're not the best person right now, that you want to be something more. Be proud of that person, while also understanding that there is no completion to this person that you're talking about. I hope this rant, made you guys think a certain way, and let me know what you think of this topic about realizing to myself that there really is no completion to anything that I choose to do in life. And if you guys enjoyed the podcast, make sure to follow us on Spotify and answer the polls. Let me know if you guys enjoy episodes like this where I just kind of rant about a certain topic. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. Even if there's only a couple of you, I appreciate the time that you guys are taking out of your day to listen to me. And I hope that I'm providing value for you guys. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the insightful podcast, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.